So how do you summarize the Toronto real estate market since the reopening of July 19th after COVID? So to me, there's so much change. There is the political agenda with Trudeau getting reelected. There is back to school for a lot of parents with their kids, some still in remote learning. And we also have the vaccine passport, which just came into effect September 22nd. So there's a lot of change in that realm. There's also work from home. Downtown offices reopening, routine kicking in. How is the condo market? I'm getting that question a lot, and today I really wanted to just dig deep and really look at statistics and share with you some of the knowledge that I'm finding with the market. So I'm going to talk about today condos, downtown specifically, and the luxury condo market, and really look at each segment to see what's happening. The first thing I wanted to check is the studios. In the studios, we have 73 listings last year. Now at this time, we have 32 listings. If we look at the average sale price, we can see that we've started at $413,500, so $413,500. And now, a year later, we're at $489,500. So clearly the prices have gone up in the studio segment. And when I did the math, it's around 18.3% growth. So if we're looking at the listing count, we see 73 listings last year and we see 32 listings now. So that's less than half of the listings that typically take place. So that's the biggest segment that I'm seeing the biggest growth so far. When I look at days on market, I'm finding 25 days on market last year, and this year it's 24 days on market. So there's a little bit of a dip here, a little bit of a wave, but ideally it's on par, 25, 24 days, which is almost a similar stat for days on market. So let's look at the one bedroom segment. We started with 872 listings back in October. We're now at September at 350 listings. So it's less than half, which means that before we had high supply, which means prices came down. Here we have lower supply and prices shall go up, which when we look at the stats, we can actually see that that makes sense. We started at 630,300 back in October, and the prices have shot up to 697,900 for one bedrooms. When we look at the figures, that's 10.73% growth. The days on market, we started at 19. There's a little bit of a wave. And then we're at 18. So it's pretty much on par for the days on market. What about those 1+ dens? Are they different? Let's find out. So 896 listings last year. And now we have 371, so less than half. So it's very similar to the one bedroom trend that we saw. If we look at the average sale price, last year it was $628,500, and now we're at $696,100. So very similar. That's 10.75% growth. So it's about 0.02% different from the one bedrooms, but it's still rising. So very, very comparable. The days on market, 19 days, and today it's 17 days. So a little bit quicker today to sell, but we saw a little bit of a rise during lockdown, of course. It took longer to sell, and then there was a dip and it came back. What about those 2 bedrooms? Let's take a look. So we started at 526 listings last year. Now we're at 241, so less than half of the inventory, which means there's more demand, less supply, so prices are going up. Now the question is how much? So last year the prices were starting at $979,900, and now it's reached the $1 million point. So that is about a 2% increase. Days on market, 18 days to start, and 23 days. So they take a little longer to sell. However, the prices have gone up 2%. If we look at the studio rental market, we can see that studios pre-COVID or during COVID, it was October, it was 1,600. Right now, the rental market has recovered. So it was up, it dropped, it was at an all-time low in March. Actually, even in February, March, it was at an all-time low. It was pretty stagnant up until May. And then in June, the prices started shooting up and we are now at 1,800. So that's a 12.5% growth, or about $200 increase just since May of 2021 for the studio segment. So an average studio you can rent out for about 1,800, depending on square footage, of course, and parking and the like. Wow, we're seeing the same trend in one bedrooms. So now the one bedrooms are at 2,000. They were at 2,000 back in October. They're now at 2,200. So they've also increased $200. So that's an excellent trend to keep looking into. So that's since March of this year. It's gone back up. So it's increased pre-COVID. The 1+ dens are very similar. 2,000 back in October. Now we're at 2,200, which is amazing. So great increase there for those looking to invest or rent their unit out. The 2-bedroom rental market, we started at 2,900 pre-COVID. During COVID, October 2020, we're now at 3,200, which is about a 10.3% increase. So that's fantastic. So the biggest jump we've seen is in 1+ dens and 1 bedrooms for the rental market. So let's talk about the luxury market space in the condos. We have 3 condos that I want to discuss today: the Ritz-Carlton, the Bisha, and the Four Seasons. So let's dive into the Ritz. We see here that the average list price is $2.5 million. The average days on market is around 58 days if we average the last 6 sales in the last year since January 1st, 2021. And we notice that the listing number has gone down, so it is a little bit more rare for these listings to come up, yet they're still coming into the market when they can. And the list price is hovering around the $2.3 to $2.5 million mark, obviously depending on renovations, but we've seen a huge increase in the days on market. Let's talk about the Bisha and that beautiful rooftop. Check this out. So if we're looking at the statistics for the last year since January 2021, we see that the average list price is hovering around the 1.7 mark, and the days on market is around 29 days. So just a little bit over a month to sell a condo. Also, the price point is a little less than the Ritz-Carlton. So we're seeing fewer listings, but a faster turnaround time for days on market at the Bisha. Next up is the heart of Yorkville, the Four Seasons. State-of-the-art, beautiful, beautiful private residence. The average list price here is $5.4 million. If you're looking at the Ritz-Carlton and you're looking to sell, it's going to take around 40 days to sell. So there's a bit of a range here in terms of days of market. It depends on where it's facing, but these windows are floor to ceiling. They are absolutely gorgeous. And we have 9 listings. So I would say this is one of the most premier buildings in the city of Toronto. And there you have it. We have the Ritz, the Bisha, and we have the Four Seasons. Are you curious to know what your home will sell for? Well, of course, these stats are neighborhood specific, and all these analytics can be pulled up for your neighborhood as well. So for your free 15-minute market valuation and Zoom call, feel free to click on the link below, and I'm happy to chat and discuss any questions that you may have about your home. Thank you so much for watching my video. Stay tuned. Until next time.